Are you sick and tired of seeing this message? Do you wonder why that perfect portal you sent didn't make it into the game? Do you want a greater chance of having successful portal submissions? Then you should continue watching this video, as I will talk about what to think of when submitting a portal and also show how to submit your own Street View globes. And before I even start, good portals will be denied for no reason. While Niantic has clearly stated that sport areas, playgrounds and natural phenomena with signs like protected trees are good candidates, some people within the Ingress community has come up with their own rules, like downvoting things they see too often in the OPR or use harsher judging in dense areas. With some luck, however, you won't be judged by these rebellious shitheads and instead get a good judging panel that gives you a fair judgment. So, just because something gets denied, don't give up and just resend it. I have a portal where I live that took me 10 to 15 tries to get approved, and that was a playground. Also, don't send crap like rocks, park benches, guarding gnomes, items in schoolyards and other things that are against Niantic rules. They will never be approved. Neither will things where the submitter tries to be funny in the description. Make serious submissions with serious descriptions and don't make a ton of misspelling. That being said, let's get over to the most important thing that is totally invaluable: the Street View process. To understand the importance of the Google Street View process, we first need to take a look at as to why this element is so important. The entire point of the OPR system is to validate real portals from fake portals. While local people where you live might know the reality of how things in the area look, keep in mind that the OPR system covers about 200 kilometers in all directions, meaning a ton of strangers will be judging you, and everything you need is proof. I will take a few examples from the OPR to start with. The first example here is a big bunker. This one came without Street View photo, and the only thing I have to judge by is the map to the right and the overhead photo. Being a big bunker that can be seen on the bird view photo, I let this pass as an improved portal, because I can confirm that this exists or that it's very likely to exist. Next up is this area sign with a map. While a good portal in itself, it's way too small to be seen on the map and it doesn't provide any Street View spheres in where to judge from. While the sign says Kvarnbo and the map says Kvarnbo, it may be anywhere in the city. This portal may be real, but due to the lack of a Street View photo it has to be declined. With a Street View photo it would have passed. Next up is this graffiti art, an excellent portal candidate and very unique in design as well. However, the closest Street View I can get is one from the outside street. I can't confirm this exists and I need to decline it. A Street View photo of the graffiti art would have approved this portal as well. This shows the importance of checking Street View and submitting your own Street View sometimes, because the default Street View may not be enough. Another one of those information boards. It comes with a clean portal picture, it seems right on the map, and most importantly it has a Street View location. Spinning around this photosphere shows me where the sign is in real life. I can see that it actually exists and I can give it 5 stars. This sign is very likely to turn into a portal or Pokestop gym within the future. One of the absolutely most important reasons Street View is so important is that you submit Street Views on location, meaning it cannot be faked. Also, areas change over time and a lot of official Street View photos don't show things that were added lately. Some Street View photos even date back to 2009. So it's in your own interest to keep the area updated. So, how do you make Street View photos? The very first thing you want to do is download the app Google Street View from your device's app store. I'm using the Android version because iPhones are the failure of humanity. Then once the app is installed, log into it using your Google account. Using your Ingress account for this would be the optimal thing to do it, since it makes the experience much smoother. The very first thing you want to do is click the target icon in the upper right corner. This will take you to the current position, and you can make sure your GPS isn't drifting. A drifting GPS can ruin every picture you take or provide false information to the OPR panel, so make sure everything is right before you start. Scroll the top bar to the right and the option to contribute should appear next to the private tab. Click what device you want to use, normally the orange camera icon. 360 cameras can be used to make this a lot quicker, but those are expensive. They do provide superior quality though, but since this is a video for everyone, I will go with the standard routine. This will bring you into a grey zone full of dots. Every yellow dot represents a wall that will be baked into the sphere. I recommend doing like I do in the video here. Taking all the pictures in the middle first from left to right or right to left. Then take the upper or bottom line in the same fashion. This is to make sure all the areas are covered so you don't miss out on anything. Also, notice there are 3 dots in the bottom and 3 in the sky, and those need to be covered as well. All dots need to be filled in to make a sphere, and once the check turns green, you have covered it all. While it is technically possible to send in spheres with a yellow check mark, it's not recommended as those might not be shown to others and you might do this in vain. Also, the camera will take the pictures automatically as soon as you aim on the dot, so you really don't need to click. Just stand there and aim around. I recommend doing this rather slowly though, because if you do it too fast the GPS might start drifting and your picture will be ruined. On older phone models like mine, the app might sometimes glitch out and make pictures black or misplaced, which ruins the entire picture. The best way I discovered to minimize this effect is to restart the phone if necessary. Otherwise it may just be enough to slowly spin around the camera a bit before submitting. This will load all the pictures into the phone's memory and will decrease the chance of black squares ruining your picture. People will probably stare at you while you do this, but that's the cost of a good Pokestop location. The app usually blurs out human faces, so don't worry about getting strangers in your pictures. You can also blur out manually if needed after the sphere is done. Once the picture has been taken, you click the green checker to start the sphere process. The app will now take all the pictures and based on your GPS and compass while you took them, put them all together into a 3D sphere. Remember to be accurate in this, as spheres sadly have a high chance to fail. This might be caused by insufficient phone memory or GPS compass misplacement, or simply the app glitching out. In that case, redo this step until you get a sphere that looks good. It doesn't need to be pixel perfect, but try to avoid major split objects and trees in the skies. Those just look stupid. You can currently not abort this process in any way, which is what makes this so painful. If you see that something is wrong, you have to stand there for about a minute in vain, waiting for the sphere coming together. You can, however, start moving around during this compilation process, so if you have multiple areas to make spheres of, just go to the next one while the app does this to save some time. Just remember, if the sphere fails and turns out bad, you need to walk back and redo it, so it's a chance of luck. Do what suits the situation best. As you can see, this sphere failed because somehow the pavement turned into dirt, so I had to redo this again. If the process has failed, just hold the picture and erase it. Sometimes switching locations a few meters and avoiding nearby objects like trees, houses and signs improves the results significantly. Also try to avoid standing close to fences, cause those are a real bitch. In this case, I uploaded the sphere anyway just to show you how to do it. Once the sphere is uploaded, it takes a minute or two and the sphere will appear in the Explore section of the app. It is now made public to everyone and can be used in the OPR system. But don't despair. If you go to your profile page, you can remove published spheres as well. There is also an option to give up rights and submit the sphere directly to Google, but I don't recommend using that, as if the area gets changed in the future you may want to get more updated spheres and remove the old ones. And you can't remove the old ones if Google owns the spheres. Horrible street view, erased. I moved a few meters away out on the grass and redid this process, and the sphere turned out a lot better. This sign didn't have a street view the last time I sent it in, but now with a street view in place it is bound to get approved. Doing this step before you do portal submissions is the most important step you can ever do to get your portals and Pokestops approved, and it's not only strongly but extremely recommended, as on smaller objects it's a feature that approves or declines your portal. And last but not least, don't panic if it still gets rejected. Just because you have the best portal in the world and provided a street view sphere, the shitheads will still be a part of the OPR process. You will most likely need to resubmit the portal several times despite doing everything right. This just ups your chances by millions of times. And like I almost said in the start of the video, shitheads. Shitheads never changes.